going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Wednesday, birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. That's right. So, finally had my little funeral for the Timberwolves, and also my Timberwolves futures. It is what it is. But hey, it's twin season for a while. But also, it is mandatory minicamp season. Justin friggin' Jefferson back in action. Signed that long-term deal, and back to being, well, he always was that leader, but now back on the field. Also looking good. Kwesi, all smiles. Frankly, one of the best off seasons in team history. And Kevin O'Connell, super psyched up. Also, you forget how tall Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell are. Like, both of them are taller than Justin Jefferson, who's listed as, 6'1", and I believe it's 6'1 and 3/4, something like that. Either way. Because Kwesi, played ball at Princeton, right? And, of course, Kevin O'Connell, back in the day, San Diego State. Good times, man. But, JJ back on the field. So this is a great shot. Well, first off, so you knew that JJ had leg ink on his left leg from last offseason. Got that new. But also, do you know that Mekhi Blackmon has similar ink on his right leg? So that could be something. I don't know. But either way, iron indeed sharpens iron. And so not only will Darnold and McCarthy practicing against one of the most complicated and high variance, high pressure defenses in the league in Brian Flores, but also, Blackmon, Caleb Evans, Kyrie Jackson, every single freaking day covering Justin friggin' Jefferson and Jordan Addison. It's only going to make him better. And plus, if you're covering Jefferson, you are not going to face a better receiver at any point on the schedule, which is important, man. But Purple Suasion put this together. Per Alec Lewis, The Athletic, the Vikings playbook includes many formations and terms that relate to wide receiver Justin Jefferson, showing that the Vikings have always had top-down commitment towards him. The Vikings playbook literally, could have been Jamar Chase. Malik Neighbors when we traded for him. Underscores the organization's top-down commitment to Jefferson. Many of their formations and terms feature words related to Jefferson, be it his home state, Louisiana, or his favorite dance move, the gritty. Again, this all could apply to Jamar Chase. Coach Kevin O'Connell has long viewed Jefferson as a partner in many ways, one of the few men on earth who is talented and intelligent enough to transfer his brainstormed offensive ideas onto the field. So again, I think that Kevin O'Connell is certainly very, very happy. And the whole thing about it is this entire negotiation from soup to nuts was positive. There wasn't ever a moment where I doubted it getting done, because both sides wanted to get it done. JJ just frankly wanted it out of the way, and the Vikings obviously want to keep him long term. And they wanted to do it before next offseason, where they had to play the stupid franchise tag game, right? But glad it got done. Something's not getting done. So I would be willing to wager a significant amount of jelly beans that CeeDee Lamb does not get extended this offseason, and the Cowboys do have to play the ugly franchise tag game next offseason, just like how the Bengals are operating with T. Higgins right now. A rap sheet go. Cowboys star receiver CeeDee Lamb, who was drafted before Justin Jefferson, by the way, that needs to be said, has not been spotted in Dallas for mandatory minicamp. Sources say Lamb has not been present for voluntary OTAs, but is not reporting to minicamp, which subjects a player to fines. Lamb seeks a new contract extension. Now, because under the new CBA, players can't be reimbursed for fines. Teams can't waive them. So this is literally costing him money, but he's out to prove a point. And the Cowboys, their asses are in the jackpot a little bit in terms of cap space. They can't afford to pay Dak. Their big free agent move this offseason was bringing back Zeke. So I don't know. I actually they'll get something done with CD, but it's going to be stupid expensive just because they waited so long, is what it is. I hate to see it. Something you love to see is competition along the offensive line for the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. At that left guard spot, Blake Brandel, and as well as come on up for the Reisner. Now, I need to point out that Reisner does have center experience. 2015 redshirt freshman, Kansas State, whipped his weight in Wildcats, Manhattan, the real Manhattan. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But from the sounds of it, Kevin O'Connell basically said that it's going to be a competition at left guard. And Brandel does have the inside track right now. But he didn't expand on Ed Ingram at right guard. Seems like his job could be secure, as well as, of course, they're sticking with Bradbury. But, but I love a true blue competition. And Kevin O'Connell also stressed they're looking for depth along the offensive line for the first time in forever. So it's fantastic. So I know that a lot of parents really got burnt out on Frozen, So my daughter and my middle son said they liked it, but they were never like crazy about it, right? They were actually more intrigued by the figurines, but in terms of playing the movie on repeat, never happened. Same thing with Baby Shark. Same thing. They didn't even care for Caillou. I feel like I won the parenting jackpot. I think we really did, in terms of just like annoyingness. Because I mean, some parents, like, the kid cries whenever they're not watching Frozen or Baby Shark or what else did I say? Whatever, Caillou, and you could just tell, like, the parents, they just got like that 1,000-yard Vietnam veteran stare. It's like, I've seen some things, man, and some stuff. Or they look like cruel and unusual punishment, like the Geneva Convention was violated, them being subjected to that over and over and over. I mean, just give me the waterboard, man. The hell we talk? Oh, Brandon Reiser. Yeah, competition. Also, so Cam Beezy, as from Vikes fan page, the Vikings want to keep safety Cameron Bynum for the foreseeable future. Darren Dugan-Wolfson mentioned on Score North. Bynum is eligible for an extension and has played well enough for a future contract with the team. Now, I would certainly be fine extending Cameron Bynum. He led the team in tackles last year with a $137, was extremely valuable on the back end of that Flores defense, and also he played well in 2022. Had 9 passes broken up and 3 forced fumbles last season as well, and he's just a damn good free safety. And with Harrison Smith likely hanging it up after the season, having Beezy and Metellus moving forward at the 2 safety spots does make sense. And I know I'm supposed to say something about Lewisine here, but that's too easy for everyone else. And with Beezy, I mean, paying him early before he hits free agency, that could save you a couple of bucks, just like Metellis's rather cheap 2-year deal before he really came of age in the Flores defense last year. So yeah, I'm all for it, man. And the Vikings, I mean, they got cap space this year. They got a lot of cap space next year, even with the JJ extension, and they're going to be good to go. Speaking of extensions and getting paid, so you got Christian friggin' Darrisaw, man. Vikes fan page again. Similar to the Justin Jefferson contract situation, there is nothing to worry about when it comes to a contract extension with Christian Darrisaw. Darren Dugan-Wolfson mentioned on Score North. A deal is likely to come next year, but the Vikings are motivated to keep their franchise left tackle in Minnesota. Now, next year is the operative word, where, I mean, you could try and pay him right now, try to save a couple of bucks, but with Darrisaw, again, we missed it again. But with Darrisaw, like, when he's healthy and on the field and dialed in, he is one of the best young left tackles in the game. Like, he's got quickness, he's got power, he's got hands, he's got feet, he's a bulldozer in the run game. He's got everything, man. But hopefully he can stay healthy. The groin has popped up a couple of times. Whoa. As well as he had concussion issues 2 years ago. So hopefully Darrisaw can put together a full, healthy, dominant campaign, and then it's easy, right? So the great thing about Kwesi so far is that in terms of extensions, you look at Hockenson, relatively smooth. I mean, some holdups when Hockenson had his ear infection, sure, but that's just business. Jefferson was very smooth. Metellus was super easy, and basically the only contract. Oh, well, there were some hitches with Daniil, except things got done. But the only one that had a contentious contract debate was Kirk Cousins. And I feel like that's saying something. But yeah, keep Darrisaw long term, because he's a cornerstone of your offensive line. Also, so position change. Ari Mary of My Sports Update. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said they are transitioning N'Keal Harry from wide receiver to tight end. O'Connell said Harry is fired up about the change, and O'Connell did mention that this was put in motion right at the start of the offseason. N'Keal is 6'4", listed at 225, but 230-ish, sure. But he's going to be a traditional hand-the-dirt Josh Oliver tight end? No. But could he be inline? Sure. Could he be a receiving threat, an F tight end, a move tight end? Yes, I think he certainly could. And just trying to find him a role does make sense, especially since the Vikings' wide receiver room is relatively deep. So it's going to be hard for him to make an impact there on the rooster or the practice squad. Lastly, so of course, I mean, the Vikings, we had a joyous day, joyous week, joyous month because of the Justin friggin' Jefferson extension. But of course, CBS Sports, who just magically decided on our special day just to put this out there, right? So they love hurting the Vikings at all times. And you know what's stupid? I literally saw this a month ago and we ranted about it on the dump. But now, again, timing is just perfect, right? Winning percentage has strong correlation with Super Bowl titles. Vikings have the 4th highest winning percentage in NFL history at 559, but zero goose egg DeAndre Russell Super Bowl. So was it top? So all the top 10 teams in terms of winning percentage in NFL history have Super Bowl wins. Congratulations. Although I feel like the Packers 552 Super Bowl 552 winning percentage shouldn't count, since a lot of their games were when the league had like 10 teams. Well, no, not even 10, like 4. And during the season, like 3 of them would fold. And it would just be like the Packers and the Canton Pros and the Akron Beacons and the whatever. I don't know, man, but ridiculous. But either way, we got Justin Jefferson, and they don't, and they hate us because they ain't us. That's right. That's right, man. But that's it. Vikings news dump for this beautiful, wonderful Wednesday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.